our customers thousands of dollars compared to most dealers. Stop by and see us at Dakota Discount RV, 3330 East Mall Drive across from Cabela's and on JB Road, Blackhawk.
Don't make a bad call the next time you need an attorney. The lawyers of Claiborne, Lowson, Sabers have been serving the legal needs of clients throughout the state for over 75 years. Serious legal issues like divorce, business disputes, personal injury, and criminal matters require a solid team. When you need a win, call Claiborne, Lowson, Sabers at 721-1517. Claiborne, Lowson, Sabers, proudly supporting our area's youth and sports teams in their pursuit of excellence.
One of the best attributes of a trust is that you get to say how you want things to happen.
I think that is one thing we set ourselves apart in, is really getting to know people.
We get really involved with people as far as what their needs are and what their family is like.
In the end, it's all about our clients, our customers. It's about how we can make things best for them. They aren't a number, they're a person. Pioneer Bank and Trust is local.
It was only a few in the beginning, one here, one there. I knew it was illegal, but I liked doing it. Even my kids noticed. There's nothing worse than your 10-year-old telling you you're breaking the law. But I didn't hit the breaking point until I hit that little kid.
Addiction has many faces. Texting and driving when you know it's life-threatening and illegal can be one of them. Take back control. Put the phone down.
Brought to you by the South Dakota Office of Highway Safety, the South Dakota Broadcasters Association, and this station.
KIMM Rapid City and K294BT Rapid City. This is the Black Hills Sports Station, 106.7 FM and 1150 AM. Fox Sports Rapid City.
And here's what you need to know.
9 NBA games tonight, including Atlanta at Dallas at 7:30 Eastern. The NBA announced that all of its teams will play the national anthem before games. Dallas had not done so this season. The league statement today noted that clubs are now in the process of welcoming fans back to their arenas. New York State will allow its arenas to open starting February 23rd at 10% capacity. Negative PCR tests will be required within 72 hours of an event. Madison Square Garden in New York will host about 2,000 fans for the Knicks game on February the 23rd. Minnesota at 8 p.m. Eastern tonight is hosting the Clippers, a 17-8 team. The Clips are again without Paul George and his foot injury tonight. Timberwolves tied for the worst record in the league, due to have Karl Anthony Towns back, according to The Athletic. He's missed 13 games with COVID. Towns heard that tweet and said, "That's news to me." He'll go to shoot around and find out if he's good to go tonight. One of the late games has Lakers hosting Oklahoma City. I'm Steve DeSager.
It's time for the only live and local sports talk show in the Black Hills. This is the Nate Brown Show, featuring live callers, live interviews, and local sports. Exclusively on 106.7 FM and 1150 AM, Fox Sports Rapid City. And streaming online right now at foxsportsrapidcity.com. From the biggest national names to the hottest local stories, welcome to the Nate Brown Show. Here's your host, Nate.
Well, good Wednesday afternoon, everybody. Welcome in. It's always a great day in the Black Hills, and we are ready to go. South Dakota Sports Talk Show live, local, with the biggest national names, all right here on the Nate Brown Show on Fox Sports Rapid City. Welcome in. Hope you're having a solid day. A little chilly out there. Get used to it. Are we used to it yet? I think I'm getting used to it. I'll tell you, the longer you stay in the single digits, you just get tougher, right? And we get used to it. We've got you covered today across the board. The Nate Brown Show brought to you in part by the Rehab Doctors for pain relief without surgery. That's the team you want to see. I've been there myself. Yeah, we all don't want to have the injury. You do. Let them help you get back up to speed. The team at the Rehab Doctors ready to evaluate and help you. If you're in pain, see the Rehab Doctors for pain relief without surgery. Take the first step to feeling better at therehabdoctors.com. No referral necessary. You can make your choice. Therehabdoctors.com. here on the program this Wednesday. We got a lot to cover. We're going to start with some pretty big news in South Dakota, and then we'll get across the board. Get into Wyoming. The Cowboys hiring a new offensive coordinator, Craig Bohl, over there in Wyoming, hiring a new OC out of the Big Ten. He goes to the Big Ten to get an offensive coordinator. We'll talk to Michael Katz, Wyoming Cowboys beat writer over in Laramie, YO Sports. He's on the way. Greg Bell's going to join us, the best Seahawks writer in the country. I think this guy's the most plugged-in guy in the country on the Seahawks. What's the real story with Seahawks Russell Wilson? You're hearing all of this analysis and people wondering, and what is Russell Wilson saying on the Dan Patrick Show yesterday here on Fox Sports Rapid City? What does that all mean? Greg Bell covers the Seahawks, the beat writer for the News Tribune, Seattle. We'll talk Seahawks, Russell Wilson, the real story. I want to see what he has to say. Greg Bell live from Seattle. Huge game last night. You heard it on Fox Sports Rapid City. It was one of the biggest streamed games they've seen when it comes to the video stream in high school basketball this year. We knew it was going to be anticipated. The atmosphere was outstanding. The St. Thomas More girls stay undefeated 16-0. They beat Stevens 41-38. We'll talk to the head coach of the Cavaliers, Brandon Candlin, today. Get his reaction after that great game. John Krogstrand drops by today. John Krogstrand on South Dakota High School Activities Association. They had a basketball meeting today. A couple of interesting agenda items in South Dakota high school basketball with the advisory committee. This is the team that looks at, should we tweak anything with tournaments, seeding, regionals? This is what they look at, the basketball advisory committee. What did they look at today? We'll talk to John Krogstrand on tap. And Mike Rodman, he's the executive director of the Deadwood Gaming Association. Why is Mike on today? Because that's where we're going to start today with the big news out of the South Dakota legislature. So let's get going. The Nate Brown Show inviting you in, 720-1067. You know the number, I hope, 720-1067. You can be a part of the conversation there. Really is a part of a conversation I want to have with you. Give your take also on the Barron's Wilson text line, 720-1067. All right, direct text the show, 720-1067 on the Barron's Wilson text line. So let's start with South Dakota sports betting. The news that comes out of the South Dakota legislature is this. The Senate just passed Senate Bill 44, okay? Now, I'm going to walk you through the process, legislative process, all this stuff that we just need to know for sports fans that wonder, okay, where are we at in the sports betting process? This bill was introduced, there was a hearing, it was tabled, and we did get a vote. So we got a vote on the South Dakota sports betting measure. This sports betting bill was the first one that was introduced. This one came from the administration, from the state, from the Department of Revenue. This is the bill that was laid out there that said, okay, voters approve sports betting. This is the bill that's going to make that happen through Deadwood, okay? Through Deadwood, like roulette, like blackjack, the whole thing that we had voted on before. So Senate Bill 44, South Dakota legislature passes 32-2. Pretty big number. 32-2. So I'm going to kind of walk you through the process now of what is sports betting in South Dakota going to look like right now. This is just my analysis, my early thoughts, what it's going to look like right now. So after the Senate passes this bill, 32-2, the political process is what? It's going to go over to the House, and I can't tell you for sure it's going to pass, but 32-2 in a Senate bill, that's pretty much locked, okay? That's going to be a lock-in, just, open up the choke, pull the cord, and start us up here soon. So we're going to get it going. So it's going to go to the House pretty soon. More than likely, the House will pass the South Dakota sports betting bill that came from the Senate. Once the House passes it, then it needs a governor's signature, and then the people that voted for sports betting in South Dakota will get sports betting. Here's the big kicker. There's going to be some pushback from South Dakota voters, some of you which are watching this stream in Sioux Falls or East River, wherever you may be, maybe even listening right here in Rapid City. You're wondering, okay, this is going to be happening through Deadwood. How is this going to work? Can I do it on my phone? Can I do that? How's this going to work? Right now, the way this law is written, this makes sports betting legal in Deadwood city limits. This makes sports betting legal in Deadwood city limits. Many of those South Dakota voters, this is just my take, many of the voters that voted this through, 54%, many of the people that voted it through wanted mobile statewide access. I do believe they wanted it in Sioux Falls, to Chamberlain, to wherever. When they voted for sports betting in South Dakota, I think the voters wanted mobile statewide access. But the facts are right now, whether we like this or not, whether the folks in Sioux Falls or wherever like this or not, the facts are in my analysis as I've talked to folks that are involved in this process. The administration right now, Governor Noem and the administration, they're not supporting statewide betting. They're not supporting statewide betting. Okay? So if a different bill were drawn up, if a different bill came in, how about this? How about that? Right now in this session, it could get a governor veto. That could get us back to square one. And I know South Dakota and Deadwood don't want that either. So here's how I see it. This is potentially step number one. You get it through the Senate. You get it through the House. You get a governor's signature. Sports betting comes to Deadwood. I like that scenario. I always have. I do like the mobile betting option regulated through Deadwood. It is what other states have done. It is the most successful when it comes to tax revenue. It is the way to go. I do think we get there sometime, but not this year. Thanks for calling. You're live, and you go ahead.
Well, I must be missing something. I thought we passed that.
Well, the voters did. The voters did, and the Senate just did. So I just said it's passed. It's going to happen, but it needs a governor's signature. And the way it looks is it's only going to be in Deadwood. That's it. Only in Deadwood, not outside of the city limits. Yep.
Oh. Anyway, I just wanted to say, hey, great job on the play-by-play.
Oh, I appreciate it. That was a fun game,
Our
wasn't
buddy
it?
upstairs is looking down going, hey, good job, kid.
Yes, I hope so. Trying to make him proud. That was a fun game.
Oh, it was. You know, it was a great game.
Yeah, there's no doubt.
Also,
I think we need to see more of them. I want to see more of those. I want to see those games every year. I still believe that. Stevens, St. Thomas More, Central, we got to play those.
Yeah. And your question of the day?
Yes. Question of the day. Should players have a big role in organizing a team, roster, GM, coach?
No. Players play, coaches play the coaching game. The administration plays the administration. You want to make your own rules? Guess what, boys? Go buy your own team, and you can do it yourself.
I'm somehow not surprised you're saying that. I'm somehow not surprised. That's the old school view. By the way, I'm closer to that thought than you may think, but it is 2021, Steve. It is 2021. I mean, you're going to let Russell Wilson just leave because you're not going to value his input?
Bye, so see you later. Thanks, buddy.
All right, man. I appreciate it.
But I see where you're coming from, so.
Yeah, star players now I'm talking. Stars, like Michael Jordan
I know
stars.
what you're saying. I'm talking about that guy that thinks he's really good in L.A., but he couldn't carry Wilt Chamberlain's jockstrap. That's who I'm referring to.
Your favorite
the one
line.
With the one that got a high school diploma handed to him because,
By the way, LeBron did a pretty good job of organizing some teams, no? I mean, he kind of did.
Oh, my God. Yeah, because he picked all-stars. How hard is that, Nate?
All right, man.
You know what? Just like the wrestling program that I'm involved with, we don't rebuild. We reload with what's in our district.
I like it. I know. You got to compete. You're a competitor. Thanks, brother.
Yep.
I appreciate it.
Have a great one.
All right. Thanks for getting in. 720-1067 is our number if you want to start the show with us. We kind of went through a lot of things there. I do have a question of the day, which I find really interesting. We'll get into that straight ahead. As we get started today, I just want to make sure everybody is on the same page. From the voters voting for sports betting to the process now, how it's going to be implemented. And that's where we're at. You need a governor's signature. You need administration support. The administration wrote this bill. Department of Revenue wrote this bill. That's why it got through the Senate at such a high clip, in my opinion. 32-2, yes. It goes to the House. Now, I know people want statewide mobile. That's what is successful, okay? That is what is successful. There's no question about it. However, there are steps you need to take. There are just steps you need to take. And this is the first one. Thanks for calling. You're live, and you go ahead.
Hello.
Hello. You go ahead.
Yeah, this is Toby here.
Toby, what's up?
So sports betting, are they going to build big sports books in Deadwood and stuff?
Some properties may. They may. What's your take on it?
I just don't know if there's enough business for the sports books out there to build big sports books like that, like they do around the other places, like Vegas. And,
Yeah, I would agree. I would agree with that. I think that's a concern. Yeah, I think that's a concern, no doubt. Will people go to Deadwood to bet on sports? That's the question. Because as of right now, that's what's going to have to happen.
Yeah, I'd be curious to see how it goes out there.
All right, man. I appreciate it. Thanks for getting in. 720-1067 on the Barron's Wilson text line as well. You can hit us up there. That's how it's going to play out. That's how it's going to play out today, is you got to go to Deadwood. Statewide access, regulated through Deadwood. Statewide access meaning on your mobile phone. Sometime, I think they're going to have to take a real look at it. I really think they're going to have to take a real look at it. Why? That's what makes sense for revenue, the tax revenue. Let me just throw this out here. Estimates from other states that have statewide sports betting access, statewide through mobile, they're averaging about $30 million per 1 million people in that state. This is per month, okay? If you crunch some numbers with me, averaging about 30 million sports betting per 1 million of population. South Dakota's nearing that 1 million mark of population, so you could give or take a little under 30 million coming in sports betting if it's statewide mobile. And see, that last caller points out, are they going to build sports books in Deadwood? Are they going to do? I do know some properties are really looking at, how can we do this if this is done, which is really close now. We get a governor's signature here. It could start in July. That could be the first start date, so people know this July could be the first launch date, July 1st. Will Deadwood be able to get some sports books going? It's going to take some investment, going to take some infrastructure. They're going to have to look at it and say, will it be worth our time as well? They call it the handle. Is the handle of sports wagering going to be enough? You're going to get Super Bowl, March Madness, Kentucky Derby. You're going to get some of these big events, some nice Sundays in the fall, right? NFL Sundays in the fall. You'll have some people coming over from Wyoming, coming over from Gillette. We'll go up from Rapid City. I just talked to some buddies today. Of course I'll be going to Deadwood to play sports wagers. Of course I will. However, the number's going to be a lot lower than it could have been if we went through Deadwood and the mobile access statewide. So I'll just finish with that as we start the program today. This is the first step. It's kind of like the limit on blackjack initially. What did we start out? I mean, there was like $5. Then it was up to $25. Now it's even more. It's steps along the way. I think people are going to have to look at 2021 revenue. It launches in Deadwood. Did the sports wagering resolution, the vote from the people, did it bring in what we thought? Did it bring people to Deadwood? Will it still bring people to Deadwood and have more access across the state mobile if you go that route in the future? I don't think this is going to be ended here, done, not pursued. This will be pursued into the future. This will be pursued, meaning statewide mobile access. I know that for a fact. That will be pursued. And when you look at the whole picture, that's good for Deadwood. That's good for sports betting. And I think it's good for the voters that wanted it. I know some of the folks didn't want it. That's fine. I just know the voters voted it through 54%. I think many of the folks, I broke it down from Minnehaha County out there in Sioux Falls. There's a big number that voted for it. There was a higher percentage of people in Minnehaha County that voted for sports betting than out here in West River. We had a higher percentage of the yes vote in Sioux Falls, the county seat, than out here in West River counties. So it tells me they want that. Will the administration really take a serious look at it, working with Deadwood through this process? So it's coming. Sports betting coming to Deadwood. Deadwood city limits only is what's passed right now. Mike Rodman, we'll get into a lot of this. What are some options moving forward? Mike Rodman's with the Deadwood Gaming Association. He'll join us later in the program. The Nate Brown Show just getting started. Greg Bell is on the way. He's the Seahawks beat writer, one of the best guys in the nation that knows what's happening with the Seahawks organization after the Russell Wilson interview on the Dan Patrick Show here yesterday. Everybody's kind of going crazy. What's the real story with Russell Wilson and the Seahawks? Greg Bell, Seahawks beat writer, live from Seattle to get the show started next.
You're listening to the only live and local sports talk show in the Black Hills, The Nate Brown Show, on FoxSportsRapidCity.com and live on 106.7 FM and 1150 AM Fox Sports Rapid City.
Rapid City Paintless Dent Repair is your local hail damage repair specialist with over 20 years of experience restoring cars to their pre-hail condition. Don't lose 30% of your resale value by having a body shop repaint it. Rapid City Paintless Dent Repair offers better resale value, has quick turnaround, and includes a lifetime guarantee on their work. The guys at Rapid City Paintless Dent Repair are trusted locals with an A+ rating from the Better Business Bureau, offering free estimates and are conveniently located downtown. Remember them when it hails.
At Terrell Tires in the Speed Center, we let our customers do the talking.
Very well-maintained tire and speed shop, over-the-top service, and very reasonably priced. Need I say more?
Scott and crew at Terrell Tires have always gone over and beyond for us. Great prices for great tires. Also, anytime we've needed odd-sized tires for ranch equipment, Scott gets us what we need.
Great customer service. Spent plenty of time answering all of our questions, and the truck looks awesome with the new rims.
Terrell Tires in the Speed Center, 105 North Campbell Street, Rapid City.
Finally, goodbye 2020. There was one good thing about 2020. That was the prices. And this is your last chance to get last year's prices at Renewal by Anderson of South Dakota. That's 20% off every window and door, plus no money down, no interest, and no payments for 12 months. Only at Renewal by Anderson. But hurry, because 2020 pricing is only available until February 15th. Book your free estimate today. Call Renewal by Anderson of South Dakota at 605-219-8111.
Hey, it's Nate Brown for the Man Salon. Guys, we're all working hard. Some of us are stressed. We all need a little relaxation. That's where you go to the Man Salon. Get the full treatment. Great haircut, shampoo, head, shoulder massage, hot towel, in your own station. There's no place like it in Rapid City. And their stylists are wearing masks. So if you want to relax, get a great experience, you want the Man Salon on West Main or at Rushmore Crossing. Book your next appointment online at themansalon.net.
Is your European or Asian import performing well this winter? Hi, this is Martin from Al's DNI. Winter weather is tough on all vehicles, including imports. Whether it's a tune-up, oil change, or something more specific, we can help get your import running the way it was designed to run. For local, reliable service on your import, call 348-1447 or stop by Al's DNI, 3483 Sturgis Road, Rapid City.
Hello, Dish Nation. We have really big news. Dish now has your local channels in HD and free voice remote. That's right, locals in HD with free voice remote. If you're tired of paying too much for too little TV that just doesn't fit the bill, call Wirefree USA at 343-3806 today and experience an expert who's happy to answer all your questions, whatever they may be. In these days of fast-paced lives and fast-talking salespeople, it's nice to know you can still count on your local Dish authorized retailer, Wirefree USA at 605-343-3806 with folks right here in our neighborhood to tell you the honest truth. Dish offers a better value for the very same channels for your home, business, and mobile. Dish and Wire-Free USA have what you need at a reasonable price, along with your HD locals and free voice remote included in the same price. The future is Wire-Free USA with Dish. 343-3806.
Voice remote requires internet-connected hopper. Restrictions apply. Call for details.
Broadcasting from the Anytime Auto Sales, Service, and Detail Studio. Sales, service, and side-by-sides. This is Fox Sports Rapid City.
Rapid City Sports Talk Show on Fox Sports Rapid City, the Nate Brown Show. Glad you're here. Always appreciate you. Hope you're having a solid week. Middle of the week, a little chilly in the Black Hills. I know, a little chilly. John Krogstrand joins us, South Dakota High School Activities Association. We got a busy show tonight. Straight ahead, we'll talk to Seahawks beat writer Greg Bell. Try to get the real story with Russell Wilson. I know a lot of the national shows. What about this? Russell Wilson said this on the Dan Patrick Show. I think that got a little overhyped, but we'll see. We got the guy who covers the team, Greg Bell, Seahawks beat writer in Seattle for the News Tribune. Also going to talk sports wagering in South Dakota, and I just started the show with that. I want to get the details on options moving forward for Deadwood and kind of what that looks like now that the Senate passed the sports betting bill. Voters approved it. Senate approves it. It'll go over to the House. It looks good there. And then the governor looks like she'll sign this one. It came from her administration. But that would be sports betting only in the Deadwood city limits as of now. That's how that would look. Mike Rodman, the Deadwood Gaming Association, he's on the way. Let's get to John Krogstrand. There was a basketball advisory committee meeting today. We're right in the heat of basketball. And the Basketball Advisory Committee takes a look at, okay, how are we doing things as far as tournament-wise? Are we getting the formats good? Any rule changes that we need to look at? Any scenarios with qualifying for state tournament? That's what the Basketball Advisory Committee looks at. And a couple of things on the agenda today I wanted to get some clarification on and have a discussion with him. John Krogstrand, South Dakota High School Activities Association here on the Nate Brown Show. John, it's good to get you. How are you?
Hey, doing quite well. How about you, man?
I'm doing good. A little cold, okay? A little cold. It's basketball weather, wrestling weather, okay? Let me get your thoughts on this. I want to make sure the audience kind of knows. This isn't anything set in stone, so I want to make sure. Sometimes people say, oh, this is talked about, so it's a done deal. No, this is kind of an exploratory thing, and the Basketball Advisory Committee looks at various things, one of which is this. One of which is AA. Should we look at just a Final Four type scenario instead of the 8-team state tournament format? How did this arrive on the table today?
Well, and those that follow along certainly know, but like you said, a lot of people really don't. I mean, any coach, any AD, anybody can submit a proposal in for consideration and discussion, and that's kind of what we had here. I think. I can make the show real tough for you and just say, well, we didn't pass anything, so nothing's changing, and we're moving on to 21, 22, right?
That's it? All right.
Yeah, there you go, done. Yeah, see you later. Talk to you in a month or something. But no, it was a really good discussion. Here's what it boils down to be quite honest with you, is look at where AA basketball is as far as games and dates that they play. So let's talk about it this year. Is you're going to have AA boys teams that will play their last regular season game probably on the 25th, 26th, or 27th of February, that last weekend of games, okay? They turn around, and then they have 5, 6, 7 days off. They play a game on March the 6th, which is their SODAC game, to then make the state tournament, which starts on March 18th. So you really have, for the teams that make the state tournament, one game in about 18 or 19 days. And when you talk about conditioning of the athletes, the quality of basketball that gets played, and really no other level of basketball do you take that long of a break before arguably your most important games of the year.
Yeah.
I think that's really the fundamental issue here is, ooh, that's not good. And originally, when you had a split or a combined tournament, you had to do some things. Some of that was kind of accepted. And now, as we look to, you could have a team that plays on February 25th, plays one game between there and March 18th, which is their first, state quarterfinal game. They've got one playoff game in there, and if it's a top seed, it might not even be a very competitive type of a contest. That's just not good. I think any coach would tell you that. Is there a better way to do that? So really, I think that's kind of the idea is, you all of a sudden throw this 3-day tournament in there after not really playing for a couple of weeks. Is that really what's best for the kids and for the teams and for the quality of the game and everything? So that's where a lot of that discussion went. Yeah.
How would that AA scenario where instead of an 8-team thing, the Final Four thing, how would that kind of remedy this situation? How would it play out if it gets discussed again?
Right. So the proposal in the discussion was talking about if the AA is doing that, well then, just look at it this way. Your girls' tournament's now only on Friday and Saturday, the 12th and 13th of March. So now you got Thursday the 11th. Maybe you can play some boys' games there. And now you're playing on an every week, or at least there's not such a big of a gap to kind of split that up a little bit. Maybe you can play regular season games all the way through, a couple more days. And so really it's just kind of how that spaces out. But in the same breath, we know that if you play a boys tournament, the quick answer is you play a boys tournament the weekend earlier, you lose some facilities because you've got a Summit League tournament in Sioux Falls and NCAA conference tournaments and things that affect it, not to mention where the Division II's at and who's hosting those kinds of things that you might be talking about not having a Barnett Center or a Premier Center, not having any other facilities available. You go the week later, and then every fourth year or whatever it is, you're talking about Easter on that weekend and that challenge that comes in. So you're kind of locked into a couple of weekends as far as where you can play. It's just maybe taking a hard look, and even with the current structure, I think the conversation we'll have going forward with our AA schools is maybe do we look at breaking those games up a little bit differently to, again, not leave our guys where they're playing a 3-day basketball tournament after not having played for a week and a half, which, truly, when you look at it, that's probably not the best thing that we do for our high school kids.
Yeah, I've talked about that. That gap there for the AA teams has been pretty long after 22 games, and then you've got a pretty long gap before the state tournament. John Krogstrand on tonight. Potential discussion there, at least today, of a AA scenario where you'd have a Final Four. Are you hearing from some schools across the state, John, that say, playing this whole thing out for a 7th, 8th place game, sometimes we don't love it? I'm kind of caught in the middle there. Kids playing sports is great. They get to play final game, but I do hear a lot, 7th, 8th place game, it's not needed.
It really kind of depends, I think, on where your school and your program are. You get some teams that make a state tournament every 10, 15, 20 years, or shoot, look at last year in the Class B girls. You have Faulkton, who we've had girls sports since 1974 in South Dakota. They make their first state tournament in 2020. If you'd have let them play in a 7th and 8th place game, they'd been ecstatic. They were loving the weekend. They were having a blast because they just had an opportunity to be there. But yeah, in some levels or in some teams, when you're there on a pretty regular basis, for one reason or another, either your program's really good and you're there, and maybe you had an off year, so now you're in that 7th and 8th place game, or you're just that's where you're at. Yeah, maybe it isn't the most exciting thing and the most realistic thing to jump into that. One of the unique things, though, in all of that discussion, we still play about as few of regular season games as any other state in the country. Playing 20 regular season basketball games is really low when you look and compare state to state to state, and then having a really brief, honestly, a brief postseason prior to a state tournament. I mean, there's something to be said for that too. That where everything fits and how it all blends together. It's kind of an interesting mix, but I don't think that was really the discussion. I think the discussion really, again, was just, is it right that we're playing that 3-game tournament in that 3 days, and really it was a practice day and a travel day? How long that is after having such a long break. What's a better way to break it up? Is it a Final Four concept? Is it is it some other way of scheduling those preliminary games? What's the best way to? Because again, look at Stevens' girls' schedule right now. I think they're playing something like, 9 games in 3.5 weeks here, or 3 weeks.
Yep.
And then you get to this and you play 3 games in 3 weeks, and that's trying to find a little bit better balance there, I think, is what we've got to do.
John Krogstrand, South Dakota High School Activities Association, talking basketball advisory committee today. One other discussion here, Class A. They have regional play right now in the postseason, regional play, and then we break it out SODAC 16 from there. I like that kind of play-in through the region. You go to the SODAC 16, you seed it out. A discussion today on, well, maybe not regional all the way through, go SODAC 32. Would we really look at seeding 1 through 32 and playing it out that way? You might lose some regional representation.
Yeah, it was an interesting discussion. I think, again, what you run into, even, that was some of the discussion of maybe why we went from the statewide seeding at 16 and instead of 8 and doing what we do was, there's regions that perennially, or at least in a certain window of time, haven't been as strong as others, and maybe where's that third and that fourth best team come from? And you look at what we do in football with at-larges, or what we did really in 11B, most recently now is 16 teams, and you just 1 to 16 them and move forward. And just looking at all of those different sports, and I think that was kind of the conversation today is if you've got that really strong region, or you've got that really weak region, you get a couple teams out of there that are going to be the 14, 15, 16 seed in the SODAC. Is there a way to do that a little differently? So it was an interesting discussion. I don't think that anybody was really excited to move it forward. I think the discussion today is let's actually survey and get full input from our coaches, from our ADs. Is this something you want to do? Is this something that you want to move forward with? And let them kind of give that guidance to us as far as, we really think this is broken, or we really think we want to change this. But, in the same breath, we talk about there, seed at 32 and pull them forward and move them forward. We don't even have a unanimous agreement right now as far as the step from 16 to 8, where AA says, no, we're in the bracket, we're going to keep moving, and the A's and B's are adamant that we are instead, we're going to reseed and look at the state tournament as just those 8 teams.
Right.
Whereas, again, the AA is saying, well, we're at 16, we're not going to reseed or give somebody a almost a penalty of sorts of, hey, you're number 16, you beat the 1. Well, guess what? You get to face number 2. I mean, they didn't make UMBC turn around and play North Carolina after they just beat Virginia, for crying out loud. So why do we do it here, I think, is a little of the discussion. So some things to iron out and to look at. But, I mean, that's really what it was just kind of that similar regional discussion. Is there a little better way to carve that up? And something, again, we'll throw back to the schools and let them make the decision for us on.
It's always a great discussion. I will say that. I like the committees. They take a look at things. We don't just say status quo. I do like that. Basketball Advisory Committee met today. John Krogstrand with shedding some light on it. South Dakota High School Activities Association Assistant Executive Director. John, appreciate it. Always great. Thanks a lot.
You bet. Take care, man.
Appreciate it. John Krogstrand on the Nate Brown Show on Fox Sports Rapid City, South Dakota High School Activities Association. So, to recap for you, Basketball Advisory Committee did 2 things here. They're looking at Class A. Right now, Class A, you have regions, and you play in your region. The top 2 teams come out. There's 8 regions, okay? Just follow along here on radio. 8 regions, top 2 teams come out of there in basketball. They seed those, okay, after you play in your regional tournament, quote unquote. You then get seeded based on your seed points 1 through 16. Okay? 8 regions, 2 teams out of each. Then it's a 1 through 16 SODAC 16 and a 1-game play-in to the State A tournament. The discussion today was, I just said, they wouldn't really look at the regions anymore. You wouldn't play through your region. They'd seed it out 1 through 32. A SODAC 32. We got to really seed that out. 1's going to play 32? I hope I'm the 1. I don't know who the 32 is going to. 1 through 32, 2, 31, 3, 30. I don't push up against, well, we need to kind of see how this, get the best teams. We're getting the best teams in, I think, through this with some regional representation. I do believe a state tournament can have some regional representation. I really do. I don't want a West River tournament with 0 West River teams here in Rapid. I don't want a Sioux Falls tournament with not that many East River teams. It doesn't make for a good environment. It really doesn't. I think Class A has it right. Some regional play and then a SODAC 16 to cut out the weak teams. Then the best 8 get there. Are you with me on that? You follow me on that? You play in a region, then you SODAC 16 it. In AA, there's just not as many teams, so we have this one-game crapshoot. I'm not a huge fan of the SODAC 16 in AA. It's a much different animal. There's not as many teams. You don't get to play a couple of games in your region, in your district like we used to. We just seed it right from the top, 1 through 16, one game play-in, and you get into a state tournament. I think Class A has it right. AA, not so sure right now. Really not. A one-game winner for a team that has 5 wins this season, they get to the state tournament. That's a struggle for me. One game, we got it. The other team's star player was sick. We got in. We a 4-win team. I don't love that. Keep an eye on the scenario. Keep an eye on the scenario for the SODAC 16 in Class A. Also in AA, a Final Four instead of 8 teams at the state tournament. That's what they talked about today. A Final Four. That would be semifinals Friday night, 2 of them, and then that state title on Saturday. Kind of feels like you're trimming back the state tournament experience. It's just initially. I'm not a huge fan of the Final Four scenario unless we start combining the classes in one location. B, A, AA. Then I've got some great teams, some great games. If we're just doing AA, playing 2 games Friday, 1 Saturday, it doesn't feel like a tournament. Doesn't feel like a tournament. Man, I'm just full of it today. I should be at that committee meeting, throw my thoughts around, just bouncing around in my head. Greg Bell's next, Seahawks beat writer, talking the real story with Russell Wilson after his interview on the Dan Patrick Show yesterday right here on Fox Sports Rapid City. Greg Bell's the beat writer, Seahawks writer for the News Tribune, live from Seattle. The real story from Greg, what is it? He's on the way.
You're listening to The Nate Brown Show. Remember to follow us on Twitter at Nate Brown Show and like us on Facebook by searching Fox Sports Rapid City.
Finally, goodbye 2020. There was one good thing about 2020. That was the prices. And this is your last chance to get last year's prices at Renewal by Anderson of South Dakota. That's 20% off every window and door. Plus no money down, no interest, and no payments for 12 months. Only at Renewal by Anderson. But hurry, because 2020 pricing is only available until February 15th. Book your free estimate today. Call Renewal by Anderson of South Dakota at 605-219-8111.
Rapid City Paintless Dent Repair is your local hail damage repair specialist with over 20 years of experience restoring cars to their pre-hail condition. Don't lose 30% of your resale value by having a body shop repaint it. Rapid City Paintless Dent Repair offers better resale value, has quick turnaround, and includes a lifetime guarantee on their work. The guys at Rapid City Paintless Dent Repair are trusted locals with an A+ rating from the Better Business Bureau, offering free estimates and are conveniently located downtown. Remember them when it hails.
74. They use only the highest quality materials and never compromise on their workmanship. Collins Siding is licensed, bonded, and their estimates always include labor, materials, and applicable permits and taxes. Collins Siding has been providing top quality service and exceeding high standards for over 45 years, and you can find out how by visiting them at 2016 Cherry Avenue. Collins Siding, 2016 Cherry Avenue, Rapid City.
The doctors and staff at Black Hills Orthopedic and Spine Center have provided expert bone, joint, and muscle care to patients in the Black Hills area since 1976. Whether you're an elite athlete, a weekend warrior, or just want to continue your active lifestyle, the orthopedic experts at Black Hills Orthopedic and Spine Center will help you stay in the game. Don't let an injury keep you from doing the things you love. Trust the team at Black Hills Orthopedic and Spine Center, specializing in what moves you. Learn more at bhosc.com.
Broadcasting from the Anytime Auto Sales, Service, and Detail Studio. Sales, service, and side-by-sides. This is Fox Sports Rapid City.
Welcome back in South Dakota Sports Talk Show. Just rolling on a Wednesday. Thanks for being a part of it. If you missed this live, we're weekdays 4 to 6 on Fox Sports Rapid City. The podcast ready, the archive ready on YouTube. It's all there. So if you miss us live, some of you can only catch about 10, 15 minutes on your drive. The Nate Brown Show podcast, wherever you get your podcasts, find us at Apple Podcasts as well as FoxSportsRapidCity.com. The archives are all there. Every show, every guest. FoxSportsRapidCity.com, the Nate Brown Show podcast. Good stuff tonight. Some great guests across the board. Thanks for watching on YouTube as well. Live in studio camera. We got some new gear, some local teams, some people sending in some pennants for the wall. Watch the show on YouTube. Search Nate Brown Show. You've got us there. Also on Twitter at Nate Brown Show. Find the live video there. On a Wednesday, we've got Greg Bell. We've had him before. He's a great Seahawks writer, Seahawks beat writer, The News Tribune. TheNewsTribune.com. So these are the guys that are plugged in, right? Greg does a great job. Find him on Twitter at GBellSeattle. Greg, thanks for coming back on. How are you?
I'm well, thanks. Unusual, eventful offseason for Seahawks already.
I see that. So, Russell Wilson goes on the Dan Patrick Show, says a couple of things. The national media, these national guys, Greg, they go crazy. Oh, this. I come to the beat writers, guys that are in the community with the team looking at it, and I ask you first, what did you think when you saw the Russell Wilson quotes and heard that statement?
Well, the first report of his, quote, camp is frustrated with pass protection, told me that's just his agent, and he has done this in the past, and before the previous two contract extensions that Wilson signed in Seattle, and leveraging in public perception, and it's a baseball type of agent deal, and he's a baseball agent. So I didn't give much credence to any of this. And then yesterday, we had the opportunity to speak to Wilson on a Zoom call that was the NFL had set up, supposedly for the NFL Walter Payton Man of the Year award. But we'd already written that story, and we wrote that story when he won it Saturday, and we'd already talked to him before on what he'd done and the great work he's done in Children's Hospital here in Seattle and civically and across the country. So we wanted to know if he's frustrated. And so I point-blank asked him yesterday on a call, are you frustrated with the Seahawks? And he surprised me when he says, I'm frustrated from getting hit too much.
Mm-hmm.
And that was not from his camp and not from sources say. That was from him. And he's calculated enough that he has talked to Pete Carroll and John Schneider, and he said that. He's talked and had conversations with them since the season ended about improving the offensive line, about improving pass protection. And the Seahawks have already taken steps to do this. The bottom line through all this hubbub, I don't know what it looks like in South Dakota, but it probably looks like Russell Wilson's demanding a trade, and we're reading odds on which team is going to trade for him. He's not getting traded. It's $39 million to trade him on a salary cap hit on a year that the cap is going down maybe $15 or $20 million. That's not happening. He has 3 years left on his contract, so he's not getting traded. What is happening here is he's asking for better pass protection. The Seahawks are already taking steps to doing that. They brought a new offensive coordinator in here, Shane Waldron, from the Rams, who's going to install Sean McVay's quick passing, play action, run-based offense, which will have more options in theory than the last year's deep passing game with Wilson and DK Metcalf did. And that, in turn, in theory, should help the offensive line but not have to pass protect for as long because the passes will come out quicker, not to mention that the teams will have to play them more honestly against a more run-based offense. That's what's going on here in Seattle, and everything else is noise.
Okay, Greg Bell, that's why I got him. TheNewsTribune.com, Seahawks writer here on the Nate Brown Show, talking to Russell Wilson. This came from Dan Patrick Show yesterday here on Fox Sports Rapid City saying, are you available, Russell? Are you available? He said, well, you have to ask the Seahawks that. And then it gets blown up. Oh, this could be another quarterback carousel. I didn't buy that either. I will say this, though. I get more in the psychology. Him saying he's frustrated he's getting hit so much. What does that tell you about the relationship there with the O-line? Is that okay?
Well, he knows that 40% of the offensive line is likely to change this offseason. Center Ethan Posick's contract is up. Mike Iupati, their left guard, their starting left guard, is 33 with neck injuries the last 2 years. He's not going to get re-signed, and he'll leave. So he knows there's going to be change anyway. I'm pretty sure is the relationship he has with Dwayne Brown, the best offensive lineman on the team, the veteran 35-year-old Pro Bowler. I'm pretty sure Wilson's talked to Dwayne Brown about this issue too. So he's not quite talking out of school and throwing an offensive lineman under the bus without having talked to them and have a relationship with them already. But I will tell you that Pete Carroll doesn't appreciate public airing of anything that is internal to the team. His number one rule is to protect the team, and this isn't protecting the team publicly when you're airing your grievances about specific aspect of the offense and the coaching and the plan. So they can't appreciate that. But that doesn't mean they're going to trade him. He's part of the solution in Seattle. He's the winningest quarterback in NFL history for the first 9 seasons of the year. He owns the only Super Bowl championship this franchise has ever had. Took him to 2 Super Bowls in a row. This is the best run the Seahawks have ever had. And he's been the quarterback for all of it. That's not going to change because he says he wants better pass protection.
I do want to ask you about what you make of this. Russell Wilson kind of saying, hey, we need to do this. And you write a story, Greg, today saying that, hey, Russell Wilson's pretty calculated. We know that. He's already talked to Pete Carroll, John Schneider. I mean, he's talked to him about some of this stuff. We need to get better. Basically, the thought is these players that are kind of the last 2 weeks, whether it's Wilson this way, Deshaun Watson's really disgruntled down in Houston, a Baltimore Ravens offensive tackle today saying, I want this, and I want this to happen. It does seem like it is new to where we're at today. How much do we make of star players kind of having a hand in the organization? How much should they do that?
Well, normally, yes. This is not a team dynamic, and this is a player that shouldn't be running the team. But when you pay a guy an NFL record $140 million to be the face of your franchise, and undoubtedly the most influential and important player on the team, you're buying some of this diva-ness. You're going to get a guy who has more outweighed sway in the locker room and in team decisions, and you're going to get a guy who needs to be consulted when you bring in a new play caller after you fire his friend Brian Schottenheimer after 3 years. And you're going to get a guy who now Wilson is at age 32 and entering his 10th year of his career that's going to test his limits on his influence. And that includes publicly. And no doubt he was instrumental in the hiring of Shane Waldron and was in on it and talked to Waldron before they hired him and how they would mesh philosophically. That's what $140 million contract buys. He's not a backup offensive guard who's just on the team. He is the team. And they decided long ago to build their franchise going forward post-Legion of Boom behind Russell Wilson on offense and Bobby Wagner on defense. And now those are the pillars. And with the pillar status comes this kind of sway and influence, and that's what you're seeing. What is unusual, though, is for it to get this public and this out there, and with the quarterback himself talking about it. That's what's new about this. That's what's different about this than any other thing. But it's not unusual for a guy who's being paid the most in NFL history when he signed the deal to have influence on who his play caller and what his offensive philosophy is going to be.
Greg Bell, great insight, talking Russell Wilson Seahawks. TheNewsTribune.com. Find his work there. Last one for you. Is Russell Wilson really liked in that locker room? Do you get that sense?
I do. I didn't think it was that way 5 years ago. Not universally. Not by the veterans on the defense who were more established and had led that team. And Wilson was still in his rookie contract. But now Wilson has set himself as the leader of the franchise, and most of the players who are on those Super Bowl teams are gone. KJ Wright and Bobby Wagner are really the only exceptions to that. So they're all younger guys. They're all under 32 years old, by and large, with Dwayne Brown and KJ Wright being the exception. So, of course, they're going to follow and listen and see him as the leader. He's the quarterback, the face of the franchise. That's the way the sport and the league is. So he is much more the head of the franchise than he was during the Super Bowl era here in Seattle. And that's the choice Seattle's made. They've spent $194 million combined on Russell Wilson and Bobby Wagner to make it this way. And that's where we're at. And that's why you see him stepping out and being a little more in the front and public and vocal than he's been in the past, because he absolutely has cachet that he didn't have even 4 or 5 years ago.
Do you think they can be good enough in other places to be that Super Bowl contender with the money that they have to spend?
Right, that's the question, obviously, because of how much he's $35 million cap charge history tells you if a quarterback is taking up that much of your salary cap in the NFL, you're not going to win Super Bowls because the rest of your team isn't good enough around it. They have to get a new lead running back because Chris Carson's contract's ending. He's probably going to go shopping free agency and be too expensive in his first chance at free agency. They need to get two new cornerbacks under contract because both Shaquille Griffin and Quentin Dunbar's contracts are up. They've got an aging linebacker core with now KJ Wright's contract is also expired at age 32. Bobby Wagner's now entering his 30s. They've got issues, and they've got issues with a cap that's going down with not much cap space to begin with. And oh, by the way, they only have 4 draft picks in this year's draft.
Wow!
Because they don't have a first-round pick because they traded it as part of the blockbuster Jamal Adams deal. They still have to re-sign Jamal Adams after this season. His contract ends after 2021. They're going to need some up-and-coming, chip on the shoulder, cheap, late-round and undrafted free agent guys to step up like they did during the Bobby Wagner, Russell Wilson, Legion of Boom years, guys like Doug Baldwin, Jermaine Kearse, Thomas Rawls, that made that team rounded and whole for Super Bowls. That's what's going to have to happen again. And so far, those guys, the late rounds and the undrafted, have not performed like Doug Baldwin and Jermaine Kearse and Thomas Rawls. And that's a tall order to do it. That's what happens when you have such an imbalanced salary structure like Seattle's does. They have two highest paid players at their positions, quarterback and linebacker, on the team at the same time for $194 million.
Wow!
And that is why they have to unearth guys that are low paid and undrafted and cast off elsewhere. And when those guys don't hit, you don't win Super Bowls.
Greg Bell, thought-out analysis, great stuff, reasonable coverage on the Russell Wilson thing. I wanted to get his take. TheNewsTribune.com, Seahawks writer on Twitter, @GBellSeattle. You can stay plugged in on the Seahawks there. Greg, always appreciate your time. Thanks a lot.
Good to talk again. Be well in South Dakota. Thanks.
All right, appreciate that. Greg Bell on the Nate Brown Show on Fox Sports Rapid City. Seahawks beat writer live from Seattle. TheNewsTribune.com for the coverage. So he's telling you, I know Dan Patrick in the national media. Dan Patrick has some good questions, always. But the national media, I just saw this headline on CBS. Oh, Russell Wilson could be the next quarterback to start the carousel and the domino effect. No. Russell Wilson is not getting or wanting to get traded. End of story. I know we have to break that news here on Fox Sports Rapid City. I know the hot take machine is alive and well. Russell Wilson's not going to get traded, okay? He's not going rogue. He's all, he's wild. He's upset. He wants to get a better O-line. It's a player taking a role again. I need this. I want this. You're seeing it more and more. That's why I turned it into the question of the day on this Wednesday. We'll get to that on the way. Here's a note. Russell Wilson pressured over 200 times more than any quarterback in the league since Russell Wilson came in the league. Russell Wilson pressured in the pocket over 200 times more than any other quarterback since he came in the league. Yeah, I don't think it's going to get easier to find those good old linemen with that cheddar, with that cabbage you're making. You got to spread the wealth around in the NFL salary cap days. Coming right back, I'm going to discuss this game last night. This was a great thing. This was a great thing last night. I think it could be the start of something really fun for local sports fans. I think it really is. Brandon Candlelin's the head coach of the St. Thomas More Girls. What a game last night against Stevens. We'll talk about the atmosphere, why it happened, where we go from here. Coach Candlin, they're 16-0.
At Terrell Tires in the Speed Center, we let our customers do the talking.
Very well-maintained tire and speed shop, over-the-top service, and very reasonably priced. Need I say more?
Scott and crew at Terrell Tires have always gone over and beyond for us. Great prices for great tires. Also, anytime we've needed odd-sized tires for ranch equipment, Scott gets us what we need.
Great customer service. Spent plenty of time answering all of our questions, and the truck looks awesome with the new rims.
Terrell Tires in the Speed Center, 105 North Campbell Street, Rapid City.
Rapid City Paintless Dent Repair is your local hail damage repair specialist with over 20 years of experience restoring cars to their pre-hail condition. Don't lose 30% of your resale value by having a body shop repaint it. Rapid City Paintless Dent Repair offers better resale value, has quick turnaround, and includes a lifetime guarantee on their work. The guys at Rapid City Paintless Dent Repair are trusted locals with an A+ rating from the Better Business Bureau, offering free estimates and are conveniently located downtown. Remember them when it hails.
13 below tomorrow night, chance of snow. 2 to 4 inches of snow tonight through Saturday. That's your forecast on the Black Hills Sports Station, Fox Sports Rapid City. Currently, it's 1 above.
Rush Hockey is back in Rapid City. On Wednesday, February 10th and Friday, February 12th, the Rush take on the Tulsa Oilers at 7:05, sponsored by Fleet Farm. On Saturday, February 13th, the Rush hosts Decades Night, sponsored by Bass Broadband. Decades from the 1960s through present day will be represented through fun games, great music, and other interactive activities throughout the night. We encourage all fans to dress in their favorite Decades attire. The rink will be divided into sections based on decade, and everyone will be eligible to win special prizes throughout the night. Tickets are on sale at RapidCityRush.com.
Tired of your injuries interfering with your daily performance? Learn how to take back your physical health with help from High Plains Physical Therapy Associates. With locations in Rapid City and Blackhawk, they're more than equipped to serve the Black Hills area. High Plains Physical Therapy was established by physical therapist Cody Young back in 1999. Cody and his team take personal interest in you and helping you achieve your physical health goals. High Plains Physical Therapy Associates has numerous state-of-the-art regimens to help silence your pain. For example, their aquatic therapy will minimize the stress on your joints to get you moving better and feeling stronger. They also perform dry needling to reduce muscle tension and improve pain control. And their innovative Sports Metrics program helps athletes accelerate recovery time to get you back in the game at maximum performance. If you want to get back in the action, check out High Plains Physical Therapy Associates in their same location since opening at 614 East Boulevard in Rapid City. High Plains Physical Therapy Associates, where a pain-free day is dawning.
Hi, this is Jeremy with Jerry's Kicks and Donuts, inviting you to kickstart your morning by dropping by and grabbing some fresh donuts. I want to thank you for voting us the best in the Black Hills in 2020. We're up early making your favorite donuts, so stop by and bring some to the office. Everybody loves Jerry's Cakes and Donuts, and we love you, so stop by, get a great selection, and brighten up your day. Serving Rapid City for over 40 years, Jerry's Cakes and Donuts at 109 East Omaha, and remember to like Jerry's on Facebook for some great giveaways.
Black Hills Urgent Care wants you to know they're committed to providing exceptional care for you and your family during this time. Whether it's urgent care or primary care, they offer convenient telemedicine services where you can visit with your provider remotely from your phone or computer. But if you need to come in, their clinics are safe and clean. With 2 locations on Haynes Avenue and Mountain View Road, open 7 days a week, 8 a.m. to 6 p.m. Black Hills Urgent Care is here to care for this community. To avoid the wait, just schedule online at bhucare.com.
Broadcasting from the Anytime Auto Sales, Service, and Detail Studio. Sales, service, and side-by-sides. This is Fox Sports Rapid City.
Welcome back in South Dakota Sports Talk Show. It is the Nate Brown Show on a cold Wednesday. Is it cold enough for you? Have you had anybody say that to you yet? Cold enough for you? Yes, but I'm getting used to it. Don't say that. I am getting used to it. Coming up at the Drive at 5, we'll talk to Wyoming Cowboys beat writer Michael Katz. The Pokes hire a new offensive coordinator. Coach Craig Bohl hires a new OC out of the Big Ten. What's the story there? Coach Craig Bohl introduced that coach today. We'll talk to Michael Katz over in Wyoming, the Cowboys beat writer, live from Laramie, WYO Sports on the way. Mike Rodman's in tonight. Deadwood Gaming Association. Big news out of the South Dakota legislature. The Senate passing the sports betting bill in the Senate first, 32-2. So it goes over to the House and getting closer to sports betting in Deadwood. What are the next steps? Mike Rodman on the way. Deadwood Gaming Association. Brandon Candlin's on tonight, the winning coach from last night's Rapid City Basketball Showdown. What a game, I'll tell you. I thought it was great. I talked to Coach before the game. I said, thanks for putting this game together. Great for the kids, great for the community, great for the schools, great for the fans. Really was. St. Thomas More is now 16-0 in girls basketball. The number 1 team in Class A beats Stevens in a tight one on Fox Sports Rapid City. 41-38 last night. Coach Candlin here on the Nate Brown Show. Coach, good to talk to you again. How are you today?
I'm doing great. Thanks for having me, Nate.
Let me ask you about last night's game. First, we'll just talk about the atmosphere, okay? I just want your atmosphere. I said in the broadcast, okay, early on here, there's going to be emotion. There's going to be some tightness. People were hyped in the warm-ups. What did you think going in?
I thought it was, well, first of all, the to have that opportunity and have that game situation, that was phenomenal. It was what we needed at this point in time. Teams losing a game and we're able to pick up a game, but knowing that it was, you can't call it a rivalry yet or anything like that, but it was definitely a fun atmosphere and situation that, it's the second time that it's ever happened, and it was a great to be a part of. And I thought that the few students that were there, it was loud. It was as loud as I've ever seen in our gym for, a girls' game, and it was a great experience last night.
Yeah, I would agree with that. It felt like did your players. Your players were composed. I want to tell you that, Coach. I thought they were composed. They had some early turnovers, but settled down. They were composed with their heads, but did they want that one a little bit more last night? It feels, you said it's not a rivalry, but come on, it's Stevens and St. Thomas More. What did your players think?
Oh, absolutely. They were looking forward to this game, right away, knowing when we lost the game, that was the first thing they talked about is, hey, can we match up with Central or Stevens? And so when it finally came to fruition, it was one that they looked at and marked the calendar as soon as they knew it. And the great thing is that a lot of these kids, these players they know each other, and so they've been friends. They've worked out. They may have been on AAU teams together. So it's a friendly competition that brought a lot of fun to the game of basketball for Rapid City and for both schools, like you said.
I commend you on it. Brandon Candlin, the head coach, St. Thomas More Girls, and Michael Brooks. I commend Coach Brooks over at Stevens and everybody's administration making it happen. I want to see more of these games. I just get feedback on this show. We want to see these games, girls, boys. I hope we can get more of these games. Would you be open to playing more of these games?
Yeah, absolutely. It's nice to know if we can stay in town and not travel as much as we typically do. I know there's some other situations, and when we've talked to other coaches, and like this year, great friends with Parrish out at Sioux Falls, Washington, and certainly they enjoy those types of games. I guess the concern they kind of talk about is where's AA going? You got some schools that are going to start moving up to AA. Pretty soon you have 20, 21 schools in AA, and how are they going to make you schedule? What are you going to do? But certainly, like Coach Parrish and Coach Brooks, if we can provide a game where we can learn, it's during the season, and we can get better, and we know that, those two coaches and other coaches are great fundamental coaches of basketball, yeah, absolutely. We want to play a good game.
It was a good one last night. St. Thomas More girls win it. That was a big win, Coach, 41-38. What were you most proud of with your team? I liked your defensive effort. You just really doubled quickly. You were aggressive. What were you most proud of last night in the tight win?
Yeah, I think the defensive effort, again, knowing that we were a little outsized, kind of like playing Washington, we knew that we had to do some things at just a different speed, and we had to be very cognizant of what was going on and help each other out in that communication. So I thought the defense obviously kept us in it. And we were able to battle early when, I think our first 4 possessions, we didn't even get a shot off. And so, we had to gain a little composure there, but the defensive effort, as it has a lot of years for us, it certainly will keep us in games. And, again, near the end, we started hitting a few shots. We made a couple of big shots, but they made that huge run again, and they put the pressure on us. And so, again, that type of game, you can't replay that. You can't practice enough. You can't set up a situation during a practice for what happened last night in those last 3 or 4 minutes. And, again, situation Coach Brooks and I talked about is absolutely. That's how you learn. That's how we got better last night. And that was awesome.
Did Coach Brooks say you guys made them better? I would expect that.
Absolutely. Yep. I mean, we knew that going in. That's why we when we talked early, knowing that each of us had an option to get a game, we knew that playing each other was going to make us better. There's no doubt about it. It's better than trying to have another practice and things like that. So that's what we were looking for.
I'll tell you, now you get that tough game. So you played Winter. You beat Stevens 41-38 last night. So you're in good shape. But how about this weekend? West Central, Sioux Falls Christian. That doesn't look too easy. What's the challenge?
Again, two teams that obviously have some great players. The Sioux Falls Christian game's got the Unruh girl going to Creighton. 6 foot, very aggressive, can shoot the ball well. It's going to be another test of how well can we defend. We haven't even really looked at much film yet, so working on that. But then a West Central team that we've faced several years in a row now, they run a great press. I think they do a good job of moving the ball around. Their zone is very active. And again, it's going to come down to some composure when we play West Central, and especially on day 2 after we play Sioux Falls Christian. I'm excited to see where we're at after we play 2 tough games back-to-back.
16-0 and a win over Stevens. I'm just glad the game happened. Brandon Candlin's the head coach. St. Thomas More girls, number 1 in Class A. That was a fun one last night. Coach, thanks for coming on. I appreciate it.
I appreciate it, Nate.
All right, Brandon Candlin here, St. Thomas More head girls coach. Done a great job. What a program. Thanks to Stevens, Coach Brooks, for getting in St. Thomas More's gym. Tighter court, the whole thing. It was an exciting atmosphere. I'll tell you heard it on Fox Sports Rapid City. I had a lot of fun with it. Came down to the wire, defensive struggle early, some big shots. I'll tell you, Haley Timmer, St. Thomas More, an outstanding player. Is going to go play at South Dakota State. 20 points, 13 rebounds last night. Haley Timmer in the 3-point win over Stevens. You look at the St. Thomas More girls basketball program. I want to make sure the sports fans here in Rapid City understand what we've seen over the past decade here. D1 college basketball players right here at St. Thomas More, and a big run of them. Caitlin Duffy, Kira Duffy, USD, okay? Alexis Swedlin, Washington State, Drew Gilton, Utah, okay? Now you have Haley Timmer, South Dakota State. And then there was a lot of other ones in between there. Some Division II. The girls basketball has been really good here. St. Thomas More and Stevens, and a good one last night. The Cavaliers are 16-0. They win it by 3. I love that matchup. I believe it's time. Girls, boys, St. Thomas More, Central, Stevens. We got to play that game. Having Spearfish on the schedule is fine, not twice. Don't need it twice. Games like that. Some of these games that are on the schedule twice, replace some of these games with the teams right here in town. The fans absolutely loved it last night. The streaming numbers were through the roof. We took a look at those numbers. Through the roof. So there was fans at the game, and then the streaming numbers last night for that girls matchup just through the roof. So much interest in St. Thomas More. Stevens played last night for the second time ever. Let's get into our question of the day on a Wednesday here on the Drive at 5. The Nate Brown Show gets into the question of the day. I really am stunned what the reaction is so far on it. So I'll ask it now, and then I'll come back with my reaction. How much of a role should a star player have in the overall direction of the organization? You're seeing this now. Deshaun Watson in Houston. Russell Wilson, some frustration in Seattle. How much of a role? You've managed companies potentially. You've been an employee at a company. How much of a role should your star employee have in the overall direction of the organization? Hiring coaches, free agent signings, GM analysis, the whole thing. How much? You try and do whatever they want, or you run things they need to play? What's the answer in the question of the day? We'll react next.
The Nate Brown Show.
Hey, it's Nate Brown. I got to tell you about Pour 54 in downtown Rapid City. If you haven't been there yet, make plans now. You will not be disappointed. I'm telling you, Pour 54 has 3 levels, plenty of space, 54 taps of craft beer, wine, hard seltzer, and hard cider. At Pour 54, you are your own bartender. No more waiting on drinks. You just grab a glass, make your choice, pour from the tap. Oh yeah, the food, out of this world. Get your night started with their pretzel board and then order up one of the awesome Pour 54 Detroit-style pan pizzas. They're unbelievable. If it's date night, after work happy hour, or just watching the big game, Pour 54 is the best place to go. And I know you'll absolutely love it like I do. There's simply no place like it in Rapid City or this region. Pour 54 opens at 3 p.m., located downtown Rapid City at 615 Main Street. You want to experience Pour 54.
KIMM Rapid City and K294BT Rapid City. This is the Black Hills Sports Station, 106.7 FM and 1150 AM. Fox Sports Rapid City.
Everything for the great outdoors is at the Black Hills Sports Show and Outdoor Expo, February 12th to the 14th at the Civic Center in Rapid City. Over 100 dealers and vendors, plus many other fun activities, including the Big Buck and Bull Contest, Ladies Lane, kids activities, and on Saturday night, we host the South Dakota Youth Hunting Adventures live and silent auction. ATVs, boats, RVs, and all the hunting and fishing gear you need in one place. The wild awaits at the Black Hills Sports Show and Outdoor Expo, February 12th to the 14th. Visit bhsportshow.com for more information.
Hi, this is Rihanna Wickett with Elevate Performance. We want you to know that not all physical therapy is the same. So when you need care, choose a team that delivers the best results. At Elevate Performance, you will receive one-on-one care with a doctor of physical therapy. We won't shuffle you in and shuffle you out. We are currently seeing new patients from youth athletes to grandparents. At Elevate Performance, we help you live life to the fullest by fusing healthcare and fitness. Come and experience personalized care and physical therapy unlike any other at Elevate Performance, your movement doctor. Online at elevateperformancesd.com.
Not all trusts fit in a box. We do our best to put a personal touch on each one and really listen to our customers and make sure that we take care of them the very best that we can.
We are going to apply the best of our knowledge and ability and care to really analyze their situation and find all the best solutions that we possibly can.
We customize what we do to what you need. Pioneer Bank and Trust is local.
Hi, this is Dan Patrick. Remember to catch me weekday mornings from 7 until 10 a.m. right here on 106.7 FM and 1150 a.m. Fox Sports Rapid City. And now, back to Rapid City's sports talk show, The Nate Brown Show.
Welcome back in. South Dakota Sports Talk Show, The Nate Brown Show here on Fox Sports Rapid City. How you doing? Hopefully solid. Yeah, you're frozen solid. Frozen solid. The Nate Brown Show on Fox Sports Rapid City and The Drive at 5. Coming up, we'll go to Deadwood. Mike Rodman, Deadwood Gaming Association. He's on the way. Big news in the South Dakota legislature. The Senate passing the sports betting bill that was initially introduced from the Department of Revenue here. So voters voted for sports betting. Now the Senate passed it. House needs to pass it. The governor signs it. You're going to have sports betting in the Deadwood city limits is the law that was passed by the Senate. In the Deadwood city limits. There's going to be some talk. What about mobile betting statewide? Are we going to have enough revenue? I'm going to get into that. Mike Rodman, Deadwood Gaming Association, breaking things down as the process goes through the legislature for sports betting in Deadwood. Michael Katz on the way, Wyoming Cowboys beat writer. The Pokes hire a new offensive coordinator under head coach Craig Bohl, the new OC coming from the Big Ten, the land of 10. We'll talk to Michael Katz down in Cheyenne, YO Sports. Question of the day, I want you to get into this with me. 720-1067 is the Barron's Wilson text line. Text the answer to the question of the day, always like that. Also, 720-1067 on the Boss Pizza and Chicken Sports Line Live. Your answer to the question of the day, which is coming off of the last few weeks here. What are we seeing? Not only the last few weeks, but it's happening in the NFL now. What's happened in NBA, Major League Baseball, okay? You're starting to see the players say, is my team good enough? Are you putting pieces around me to have success? We used to didn't see that in the NFL. You didn't really see it that much. Players saying, hey, I want to be involved in this. I want to be involved in, what about our free agents here? You kind of saw things come together with Tom Brady go to Tampa Bay, right? And here comes Gronk, and here comes Antonio Brown. You kind of see that. People don't say much about that, but that was Tom orchestrating that. So my question of the day, now that Russell Wilson talks about Seattle, I'm getting hit too much. I need a better O-line, basically, is what he's talking about. Deshaun Watson in Houston, we got big problems. I wasn't consulted in the coaching hire, the GM hire. We need a culture shift. These are star players being involved in the direction of the organization, not just the product on the field. My question is, how much of a role should your star player have in the backdoor decisions, okay? The behind-the-door stuff, the overall direction of the organization, hiring coaches, free agents, the direction. Do you think you try and do what that star player wants as best you can, right? You try and do what they want, or you run things they need to play. Your job is your job. Your job as a player is to play. What is your answer to that question of the day? Look at the results. Results coming in right now. 83% of you say you run things the players need to play. 83% of you. Now, I thought it would go that way. I didn't think it would go 83%. That's the audience right now. 17% of you say, no, you got to try and do what the star player wants. Here's where I'm at. We have a thought here. Today we're seeing more of this, the player empowerment, and you're just going to get run over by the player if he gets to decide who, what, where. The deal is, though, let's go back. You watch the Michael Jordan documentary? The Michael Jordan documentary, right? The Last Dance. You watch that? What happened when the Bulls didn't do what Michael Jordan wanted to do? Meaning, hey, I want to bring some guys back. I want to make another run at this. I want Phil Jackson as my coach. And Jerry Krause said, yeah, I don't think so. It's time to flip the page. New coach, can't afford the contracts. We need to go a different direction. Michael, are you with us? And then the Bulls dynasty fell apart. That's the risk organizations take when you invest $140 million in Russell Wilson, a record-setting contract at the time, right? Now, Russ, we're going to do this. You play, we'll organize. Okay, you play, we'll organize. Disgruntled, it's just not going to work. The answer is you've got to at least listen. That's the answer. The answer is you have to at least listen to the players' feedback. You can't not listen. And I get they can't run the show. Ultimately, a player is getting paid to do his job on the field, leading the team in the field of play. They're not a general manager for a reason, so to speak. Not experienced in that. But some of the stars now, they are taking more of a role. I think if we're going to invest in me, here's how I want this to go. This teammate, this coach, this philosophy, it meshes with me rowing the same way. I don't think it can be you run things, they just play. I think the shift is happening. I don't want the players to run the show. Is Deshaun Watson going to run the show in Houston now? Is he going to run the show? I don't think. Should he be involved in hiring the GM? That's where you got to walk that line. You can't take it too far. You got to walk the line. But you can't disregard, hey, Deshaun Watson, they just spent another $140 million on him. Deshaun Watson, well, Deshaun, we got you. We got it. Trust us. Trust us. And he doesn't. So I'm an old school guy, too. I want players to play. Do your job. Everybody has a job on a team. On defense, on offense, everybody has a job through the organization. Do your job. Let's all roll the same way. But we also have to make sure the communication today is open. You run into Michael Jordan and the Bulls. Hey, let's come back. We want to run it back for one more. We got 6 titles. Let's do one more. Jerry Krause was set. Yeah, you can do that without Phil Jackson. And then you see what happens. Interesting stuff. There's the vote. It's going down a little bit. 80% of you say you run things, the players play. 20% now say you got to try and do what they want. I think we're somewhere in the middle. See how I do that? You straddle the fence. It is somewhere in the middle. You can't do whatever they want. You can't just say, hey, this is the day you play, I organize. It's not going to work. The communication with today's player especially. And I even bring up the Jordan reference. That's real. And that was in the 90s. Stars matter more. Star employees, star players. Coming right back with Mike Rodman of the Deadwood Gaming Association. What can Deadwood do with sports betting now that the Senate passed the bill? We're getting close. The Deadwood City Limits is the law that's being passed. What could be ahead? Mike Rodman of the Deadwood Gaming Association on sports betting in South Dakota next.
Your sports, your show. This is the Nate Brown Show on 106.7 FM and 1150 AM, Fox Sports Rapid City.
Finally, goodbye 2020. There was one good thing about 2020. That was the prices. And this is your last chance to get last year's prices at Renewal by Anderson of South Dakota. That's 20% off every window and door. Plus no money down, no interest, and no payments for 12 months. Only at Renewal by Anderson. But hurry, because 2020 pricing is only available until February 15th. Book your free estimate today. Call Renewal by Anderson of South Dakota at 605-219-8111.
Rapid City Paintless Dent Repair is your local hail damage repair specialist with over 20 years of experience restoring cars to their pre-hail condition. Don't lose 30% of your resale value by having a body shop repaint it. Rapid City Paintless Dent Repair offers better resale value, has quick turnaround, and includes a lifetime guarantee on their work. The guys at Rapid City Paintless Dent Repair are trusted locals with an A+ rating from the Better Business Bureau, offering free estimates and are conveniently located downtown. Remember them when it hails.
Here at Pizza Ranch, we believe in happy accidents, like in 1964, when a Buffalo, New York restaurant owner accidentally bought chicken wings instead of chicken necks. The 60s were a crazy time. Well, decades later, and the mistake-turned masterpiece is now at Pizza Ranch. Introducing our new traditional and boneless chicken wings, tossed in our signature sauces. 2 more ways to get the country's best chicken available for carryout and delivery. Maybe it wasn't an accident after all, just delicious fate. Pizza Ranch. Mmm.
Welcome to Danny Menholt Rapid Chevrolet, the home of the best selection of pre-owned vehicles in the area, with new inventory arriving daily. But that's not all. Let me show you. Meet our fast and friendly finance officers, who will take you through the purchase process quickly and who work with a large number of local and national lenders. Here at Denny Menholt Rapid Chevrolet, we pride ourselves on our customer-centric approach, and we strive to provide you, our customer, with a 5-star experience every time. We'll see you soon here at Denny Menholt Rapid Chevrolet in Rapid City.
We're all going somewhere. Going higher, faster, farther. Going in new directions, to new places. At Monument Health, we keep going so you can keep going. We're dedicated to advanced orthopedic care with the latest innovations, technology, expertise, and treatment. So keep exploring. Keep making memories. Keep going with Monument Health as your partner. Learn more at monument.health/orthopedics.
Broadcasting from the Anytime Auto Sales, Service, and Detail Studio. Sales, service, and side-by-sides. This is Fox Sports Rapid City.
We got a drum set going here in the studio. A little drum set, air drums. I'm not bad. Not bad on the air drums on a cold Wednesday. Rapid City Sports Talk Show, the Nate Brown Show. Glad to have you on board. Good stuff tonight. Across the board, high school to pros to college, all here on Fox Sports Rapid City. Tonight, coming up, Michael Katz, Wyoming Cowboys beat writer. What's the latest on the Wyoming Cowboys hiring of a new offensive coordinator? The offensive coordinator for the Pokes got hired as the head coach at Montana State. Bobcats. We got a Bobcats pennant here in the studio. How did that happen? A Montana State invasion of the Fox Sports Rapid City studio. There's a Montana State fan sent that in. Good guy. Good guy. So Montana State gets a new head coach from Wyoming, Brent Vegan. So the Pokes hire an offensive coordinator out of the Big Ten today. Talk to Michael Katz, Pokes beat writer, Cheyenne, on the way. Mike Rodman's here. We've had him on before, and always good to get his thoughts on how we're moving forward. We've been talking about this for, a couple of years. as sports betting has went across the nation. South Dakota is ready to go. The South Dakota voters in November said yes to sports betting in Deadwood, and now the legislature needs to craft the law. It came from the Department of Revenue. The administration says, here's the law in the Deadwood city limits. The Senate passed it 32-2. Now it goes to the House. Looks like we're okay there, and then it would need a governor's signature, and you'd be seeing sports betting in Deadwood potentially by July. Mike Rodman's the Deadwood Gaming Association Executive Director, and he's here on the Nate Brown Show. Mike, thanks for coming on. How are you?
Good. Thanks for having me, Nate.
Well, I appreciate your time. It's been busy, so I think I kind of laid that out. I'm trying to get people the facts here. Let's just get your reaction. 32-2 vote in the Senate looks like a good thing for Deadwood sports betting for you.
Yeah, absolutely. That was a great vote in the Senate, but Deadwood's experience it's always been easy sailing in the Senate, and the House has always been a little more difficult. What makes this bill a little more difficult than normal is the fact that we need 2/3 to get it passed, and so that's going to be a big undertaking in the House. But we're hopeful that we can get that done and get the governor to sign it. So
okay,
we'll keep moving that way.
So you need 2/3 in the House. It sounds like, I mean, I said it's promising. If things go awry, where do we go from here, Mike?
Well, fortunately, this is administration's bill, and we're lending our support to it because obviously, at the end of the day, we want to have something that the governor is willing to sign, and this is the bill that will get that done, so we can have sports wagering sometime this year in Deadwood.
Okay.
Obviously, after the governor signs this bill, that we go back to the South Dakota Commission on Gaming, and they promulgate rules and that process, and so we've got that to look forward to once we get this actual bill signed. So still a process ahead of us, but at least we'd be able to get sports wagering sometime, hopefully by late summer at the latest, but that's really up to the South Dakota Commission on Gaming and how quickly they move.
Mike Rodman, Deadwood Gaming Association, talking sports betting bill, which came from the Department of Revenue after the people voted in South Dakota said yes. 54% said yes. Now it goes to the House. But, as I said, if the House doesn't pass it, would we have to go back to the drawing board here? The people of South Dakota say, hey, we wanted sports betting in Deadwood. We voted that through. Do you know if we'd have to start with something else in this session if the House says, we're not going to pass this?
Yeah, I would think that we would huddle with the administration and try to find something that the House would be amenable to. Quite frankly, I think that this is a pretty mild start. It's kind of a slow start to sports wagering.
Yeah,
and you know that this is something that I think the House is going to get on board with. There's a couple other bills out there for sports wagering this year, but I think that they're probably doomed. So that's why we've kind of hitched a ride with the administration on this bill.
Okay.
Senate Bill 44.
Okay, so some of the pushback I hear, Mike, and you know this, we've had you on the show before, some of the pushback is, okay, what about regulated through Deadwood, but increasing the revenue through mobile technology, mobile betting, sign up through Deadwood, and then we can have the app, and people in Sioux Falls from Rapid City to Deadwood can do this. That's the pushback, and you just referenced, this is kind of a slow start to it. Is it kind of a step-by-step thing here?
Absolutely. I mean, our first step is finding something that the governor will sign. Otherwise, we have nothing. And so that's why we're moving forward with this bill. There is a House Bill 1231 that DraftKings put in that does that very thing, mobile wagering statewide. But again, I believe that's doomed on arrival. So
you believe the administration? I wanted to lay out the facts. You believe the administration right now is not supporting statewide mobile betting right now?
Right now. I believe that they want to take a go slow approach. Let's make sure that we can properly regulate it and properly handle sports wagering before we expand it across the state.
Yeah. I kind of explained it as I opened today's show. Mike Rodman on tonight, Deadwood Gaming Association. He's here on the Nate Brown Show, Sports Wagering, working over to the House right now. It does need a governor's signature after that, and then things can get moving. If there isn't support from the administration for statewide mobile right now, I think there's still going to be a pursued option there. Do you believe that may be pursued? When you look at revenue, maybe some of the operators, some of the properties might say, here's what happened in 2021-22. We need to take a look to increase the handle, to increase the potential tax revenue as well. That may be looked at, no?
Well, I certainly think so. I think our goal this year for 2021 is to get it up and running, and then we go back and have those conversations next legislative session.
How about the Deadwood operators? Do you believe some might invest a little bit here? I've talked to a couple. They said, hey, if we get this started, we might do a little bit with a sports-type area for the sports betting.
I certainly think you're going to see that in some of the operators. That's the conversations that I've had with some of the operators, that they plan on doing that and having those ready to go when the sports wagering kicks off sometime this summer.
Okay. When it comes down to it, we'll see where this goes, right? Over to the House, governor's signature. You're hoping with the rules, regulations, the steps, it may be able to get going July, August, maybe. And by the law, it could, right?
Yeah, by the law, it could. I doubt that we'll see the South Dakota Commission on Gaming move that fast. So,
okay. What do you think?
I'm hopeful that we'll see something by August, September at the latest. But again, that's this is conjecture on my part. So
okay. Well, I'm hoping football season, Mike. You got to get those guys going, right?
You know, I'm pushing every day.
I do believe that the football season's going to be a big one if sports betting gets to Deadwood, and I know that's the goal. No question
Absolutely.
about it. The revenues will be something to look at. Visitors to Deadwood, this is going to be something to look at, Mike. March Madness, Super Bowl, Kentucky Derby. This is going to be an event-driven thing, I think, initially.
Absolutely. It's going to change Deadwood and the way we market Deadwood.
Yeah, I do believe that. Mike Rodman, Deadwood Gaming Association, talking sports wagering. Couple more steps. We'll look for the House vote soon. Mike, do we know when that's going to happen? It's kind of hard. Sometimes things get tabled and things. Do we expect when we know?
No, it hasn't been scheduled to be in House State Affairs first. We got to get it out of there before it gets on the House floor. So hopefully it'll get scheduled next week in House State Affairs.
All right. Mike Rodman, Deadwood Gaming Association. Mike, always great. Thanks a lot.
Great. Thanks for having me.
I appreciate it. Mike Rodman tonight on Fox Sports Rapid City on the Nate Brown Show, Deadwood Gaming Association. So you're starting to hear all the moving pieces here. When the voters voted, they said yes to sports wagering in Deadwood. That's how it was written in the ballot. You remember voting on this, right? I don't know if you went for it or not. I think a lot of my audience went for it. I'm for it, okay? And then the steps were, it has to go to the legislature. How are we going to do that through Deadwood, okay? Right now, the governor and administration said, right now, we want Deadwood city limits only. So we're here in Rapid City right now. You couldn't pull up the app, even though you're in South Dakota and it's legal in quote-unquote South Dakota. It would not be. You'd have to be in the Deadwood city limits. So that's where this is at right now, as the administration's not ready for statewide. Hey, I went to Deadwood, I signed up there, and now I'm going back to Sioux Falls and I'm betting on the Vikings. That's not there yet. I do believe that will be constantly pursued from many avenues. Why? Deadwood can get behind that. They'll regulate it. Still going to run through Deadwood. You're going to get the app. It's just how Las Vegas does it. The Las Vegas model is MGM has it. You get the app. I can be anywhere in Nevada and place a bet through MGM. I can be anywhere. Colorado does it the same way. They just launched it. You can be anywhere in Colorado. You got your DraftKings app. You place the bet. It's that easy. The revenue, much higher. Tax revenue then, much higher. So from a financial standpoint, it's going to make more sense. Across the board, if you have the mobile statewide access, right now, The administration's not going to sign that by all accounts, is what you just heard it from Mike there. I've heard that behind the scenes. Administration's not going to go statewide mobile right now. And I think if revenues aren't there, you're going to take a look at it. It's only in Deadwood. It's going to be event-driven. Super Bowl, March Madness, some Sundays, Kentucky Derby, Masters. You're going to have some of those events. That's great. I want people in Deadwood. Shoulder season, right? Winter, you're going to have some visitors. It's not going to be as much revenue to really get things going as you see in other states. That's where we're at. I mean, those are just the facts, and I think they're going to revisit that. At least they should. Be open to revisiting it. If it's already legal in Deadwood, South Dakota voters wanted it. Sioux Falls voters voted for this. I think they should have access to it, regulated through Deadwood as the other games are. Roulette, blackjack, and everything else. Okay? The difference with sports wagering is you can do it on your mobile device. You can do it that way. Coming right back, I want to get into this. Wyoming Cowboys lost their offensive coordinator, and now they just hired a new offensive coordinator out of the Big Ten. What's Craig Bull, the head coach of the Cowboys, up to with the new offensive coordinator? Michael Katz for the Wyoming Cowboys beat writer in Cheyenne. He's on the way.
This is the Nate Brown Show.
At Terrell Tires in the Speed Center, we let our customers do the talking.
Very well-maintained tire and speed shop, over-the-top service, and very reasonably priced. Need I say more?
Scott and crew at Terrell Tires have always gone over and beyond for us. Great prices for great tires. Also, anytime we've needed odd-sized tires for ranch equipment, Scott gets us what we need.
Great customer service. Spent plenty of time answering all of our questions, and the truck looks awesome with the new rims.
Terrell Tires and the Speed Center, 105 North Campbell Street, Rapid City.
Rapid City Paintless Dent Repair is your local hail damage repair specialist with over 20 years of experience restoring cars to their pre-hail condition. Don't lose 30% of your resale value by having a body shop repaint it. Rapid City Paintless Dent Repair offers better resale value, has quick turnaround, and includes a lifetime guarantee on their work. The guys at Rapid City Paintless Dent Repair are trusted locals with an A+ rating from the Better Business Bureau, offering free estimates and are conveniently located downtown. Remember them when it hails.
Finally, goodbye 2020. There was one good thing about 2020. That was the prices. And this is your last chance to get last year's prices at Renewal by Anderson of South Dakota. That's 20% off every window and door. Plus no money down, no interest, and no payments for 12 months. Only at Renewal by Anderson. But hurry, because 2020 pricing is only available until February 15th. Book your free estimate today. Call Renewal by Anderson of South Dakota at 605-219-8111.
Or maybe you're experiencing pain that just won't get better. There's an expert team of physicians right here in Rapid City ready to help you get back in the game. The Rehab Doctors. They're the official sports medicine physicians of the Rapid City Rush, and they're the team that wants to help you get back on track. You have a choice for your medical care, and there's no referral necessary. For pain relief without surgery, take the first step to feeling better. Just go to therehabdoctors.com.
My part-time service in the Army National Guard makes it possible for me to be more for the community I call home. I'm a better neighbor because my service has taught me how important it is to be a team player. My training helps me in my classes when I give attention to detail to the task at hand. My service also allows me to be there for my community in ways others can't. I help my hometown recover after nature strikes. My service in the Army National Guard allows me to keep my country and those I care about safe from threats. I also work with a network of professionals that help me succeed. Also, the Army National Guard's education benefits make getting a higher education a reality. Being an Army National Guard soldier makes living and serving in my community more rewarding every day. Learn more about how you too can live and serve part-time close to home by visiting NationalGuard.com.
Sponsored by the South Dakota Army National Guard. Aired by the South Dakota Broadcasters Association and this station.
When it comes to protecting your home and your belongings, what works for your neighbor most likely won't work for you. Insurance is personal, and that's why the coverage specialists at Fisher Rounds & Associates work with you to tailor a policy that protects your family, home, auto, and other valuable possessions at the most reasonable cost possible. We sweat the small and the big stuff, so you don't have to. That's at your service, at your side. Fisher Rounds & Associates, with offices in Pierre, Mitchell, Rapid City, Sioux Falls, and Watertown.
Broadcasting from the Anytime Auto Sales, Service, and Detail Studio. Sales, service, and side-by-sides. This is Fox Sports Rapid City.
All right, who's coming to Deadwood with me like NFL opening weekend? I'm telling you, NFL opening weekend, something tells me Fox Sports Rapid City is going to be live in Deadwood. Sports wagering coming to Deadwood. Very close. Very close. The voters approved it in November. Great job. There's some hiccups along the way, and not everybody's going to be happy with this first step of just in Deadwood city limits, but that's the way it's going to go. It reminds me of the limit on your bets in Deadwood over the years. Used to be $2. You know that? Used to be $2. Then it went to $5, $25, $100. You know, the max limits, right? So this is a step-by-step process, and Deadwood is close to getting sports betting. It was voted on by the citizens. Now legislature trying to put it together. The governor looks like she'll sign this bill of just in the Deadwood city limits. So that's where we're at. Not mobile friendly right now. We'll be there NFL opening weekend. I'm jacked. Here's Michael Katz. I follow his work there at Michael L. Katz. That's the Twitter account, at Michael L. Katz. He's the Wyoming Cowboys beat writer, wyosports.net. Follow his work a lot. The Pokes in the basketball season, but making news in football as their offensive coordinator, Brent Vigen, gets hired at Montana State. I covered the Bobcats years ago. The Bobcats getting Coach Vigen, the offensive coordinator from the Pokes, and now Wyoming needs a new offensive coordinator. They hire a guy today out of the Big Ten, the offensive line coach for the Iowa Hawkeyes. Interesting. Tim Pulisic officially announced as the next offensive coordinator, and the guy covering the story was, I think, in the Zoom call with Coach Bowl today. Wyoming Cowboys beat writer Michael Katz here. Michael, thanks for the time. How are you?
I'm good. How are you?
I'm doing well. Were you in that Zoom call today?
I was, yes.
Okay, all right. So I just want to make sure. First reaction, Coach Vigen goes to Montana State. It felt like, and it's no disrespect, I've been around the Cowboys a long time. Felt like Montana State kind of looked here and there. They lost some of their assistants to D1 places, and I don't know where Coach Vigen was at in their process, but what was your reaction when he left to Montana State initially?
You know, we had kind of heard through the grapevine that he was a candidate, but, you know, last week it appeared that he wasn't necessarily at the very top of their list. There were kind of rumors that there was an Oregon assistant, I believe, that was one of the guys that they were really zeroing in on. And then over the weekend, I think he got elevated to co-defensive coordinator, and they kept him. And so then I think things kind of went back around to Brent Vigen. I guess my initial reaction was I think it's a good move for all parties involved, and I say that obviously, you know, for Brent, it's a chance to be a head coach, and clearly that's something that he has wanted. But you know, two, and it's not a mystery here. People have not been necessarily pleased with how Vigen's offenses have been here the last couple of years, particularly in terms of developing a passing game, and I think it's a good chance for sort of a fresh start for all parties involved. For him, it's obviously a head coaching job, and for Tim Pulisic, who was just named the coordinator today, it's a chance to maybe not reinvent the wheel, but maybe keep things from getting stale.
Yeah, I wanted to know, how hot was it getting in the kitchen there with Coach Bowl and folks saying, man, Coach Vigen, this offense is a grinder. We're just swimming through oatmeal here. How hot was it getting?
If you ask my Twitter mentions, it was on fire. If you ask Craig, he tries to downplay things, but he's smart enough to know what his eyes tell him. But to what people are saying and whatnot. And, he's very close with Brent. They worked together for 18 years. He's his guy, and he truly wants the best for him. And, I don't think there was ever going to be a time when, Craig got rid of Brent. And so I think this was, I think this was a win-win for, not to say Brent deserved to get fired or anything like that. I think he, could he have done some things better? Of course. But I think this was just a really good move for all parties involved.
This is Michael Katz, Wyoming Cowboys beat writer, wyosports.net. You can find his work there. Wyoming Cowboys hiring a new offensive coordinator. We just discussed the last guy, Brent Vigen, goes to be the head coach at Montana State. Under Vigen, the Pokes were in the top half of the Mountain West twice in passing. He was there 7 years. They were in the top half passing twice. So Tim Palesic, offensive line coach for the Iowa Hawkeyes, comes over. I don't know if we're going to get a pass-happy guy here. That's not Coach Bull's M.O. He was at the North Dakota State Bison program. Palesic was his offensive coordinator there for a few years. It's still the pro-style run type deal. So what do you think is going to happen with Palesic?
Yeah, and that's one of the things that, we all kind of were wondering was, Craig has mentioned he wanted to quote-unquote re-engineer the offense this offseason. And, you look at what Palesic did when he was in North Dakota State, and it was really kind of similar to what Vigen did when he was there in terms of being predicated on the run and, passing enough. And, obviously he had Carson Wentz when he was there, and he had great success with him. But, Craig, I think, put it best when he said, we're never going to be 4-wide shotgun air raid kind of thing. That's not who they are. Craig wouldn't hire a guy like that. But I think he can see that Palesic wants to sort of keep that power running game going, but also maybe has some insights on how to open things up passing. They completed 46% of their passes this past year. And they threw one touchdown as a team. Wyoming did this past season. That's not going to get it done. And Craig basically kind of said he wants them to be sort of predicated on play action, to be efficient, and to attack defenses a little bit better. And if you look at what Palesic's offenses did at North Dakota State, they didn't throw for a ton of yards, but they were among the most efficient passing offenses in the country. And I think in a perfect world, that is Craig Bull's perfect offense, where they are able to run the ball, but they can throw just as much as they need to. And I think this is sort of a step in that direction.
Wyoming Cowboy fans they like Coach Bull. I'm a fan of Coach Bull. I have him on the show. I know a lot of people over in Wyoming in the administration. I'm a Pokes guy. So Coach Bull, we like Coach Bull. There's no doubt. He's tough. Good leader, good, solid defensive guy. That's his background. Then we say, college football, though, is slinging it. We're just slinging it. And the Pokes are still, we're going to grind it. I feel like the Wyoming Cowboy fan base is going to say, okay, Tim Palesic was at NDSU. We know coaches hire their guys. It's a tight fraternity. But will there be much change? I don't know if there's going to be a lot of change. You're kind of saying that, but does Coach Bull understand, well, we got to open it up a little bit? Will he open it up a little bit?
Yeah, and he's not going to reinvent the wheel. And he basically, I think his quote today was, canning everything wouldn't be in our best interests or something like that. But I think he knows that where college football is, but he also recognizes kind of what his program is and what he wants it to be. And so, no, I don't think they're going to have a quarterback throwing it 50 times a game. If they do, that's probably not a good sign for what's going on in that particular game. But
can you win doing it this way? I mean, he has won. He's been right in the Mountain West contention, no doubt. But some people say with some of the talent there, maybe they should be performing better. Can you win? That's kind of the question. It's kind of the philosophy question.
Yeah, and the way I look at it is, they were in 2019. They were 8-5 with an offense that completed less than 50% of its passes. Wow. And what did they do? They played great defense, and they had the best running back in the conference. It's not, again, they don't have to be a team that throws for a ton of yards, but they have to be good at throwing when they do throw. And I think it's just being more efficient. His quarterbacks have to complete 60% of their passes, is what he said today. And, if they can get that, if they were able to win 8 games completing, sub 50 a couple years ago, if they're close to 60 and they're still able to run the ball and they're playing that good defense like they always do, I don't think there's a reason that they can't, get to that 9 or 10-ish win mark. Is it going to be pretty? No, but, I don't think Craig is one that really cares about how pretty the product is, as long as the wins are there at the end of the day.
That is right. That is right. And he fits the Wyoming mold. He said, we just stick our hands in the dirt. I mean, that's what we do. That's his line. Craig Bull, head coach at Wyoming, hiring Tim Pulisic, offensive line coach at Iowa. He was the offensive coordinator there at North Dakota State with Coach Bull. So Tim Pulisic comes over from the Big Ten. Overall, Michael, I think, you look at it, I think you rate this hire solid. You get a guy from the Big Ten, position coach. These guys make pretty big dollars. That's a great program, Iowa. Overall, pretty solid hire, I would say.
Yeah, and I think, of course there are always those fans, kind of like you alluded to, that are going to say, we want the wide open offense, and, this wasn't that hire. But realistically, that was never going to be the hire. And so, to get a guy who had never coached offensive line before he got to Iowa, which I thought was kind of stunning, and here Iowa obviously is a place that churns out NFL linemen all the time, and he kept that going. And I think for Craig, it's, Tim is a guy that can kind of coach through anything, and I think that was really attractive to him. He is able to relay information to players. He's gritty. I think he's sort of that perfect match of what he wants in his assistants. He wants. I think for the 3 things you look for was: are they good people? Are they smart? And can they communicate? He learned that from Tom Osborne, way back when he was at Nebraska. And I think to get a guy like that who has a ton of experience and has kind of grinded from the very start, I think it's really his kind of guy, and I think it's a really good fit for what they want to do here.
Yeah, Craig Bull said Tim Pulisic slept on the floor of the Fargo Dome. He slept on the floor and was there ready to go in the morning. Just wanted to learn the game. Tim Pulisic comes over to Wyoming, the new offensive coordinator / quarterbacks coach, comes from Iowa as their offensive line coach. Michael Katz on the story. Read the breakdown, wyosports.net. Find him on Twitter at Michael L. Katz. Wyoming Cowboys beat writer here on the Nate Brown Show. Great stuff, man. I appreciate you coming on.
Thanks for having me, Nate. Always
appreciate
a pleasure.
Appreciate it. Take care. Michael Katz, Wyoming Cowboys beat writer, wyosports.net here on the Nate Brown Show on Fox Sports Rapid City. The Pokes getting Tim Pulisic out of Iowa, offensive line coach for the Hawkeyes. Now going to reunite with Craig Bull. I keep asking myself that. I'm a Pokes fan. I'm a Craig Bull fan. I think that's a great hire. I've been a fan since he came from NDSU, right? That was a great hire. He's had success in the Mountain West, and they're not going to get those 4-star, 3-star guys. They're going to get guys that come in, fit the mold, work hard, tough, defense first, run first, set up the pass. I still think it's a legitimate question. Can you be really successful in the high-flying offensive world of college football, really any level of football today? Can you be successful in that pro style? I think they can with great running backs, great tight ends. That opens up a little bit of the passing game, running back in the flat, tight end in some open space. I think that helps, and they've had some solid tight ends. So you look for those. It's not down the field totally, throwing bombs. It's tight ends, it's play actions, it's rollouts. It'll be interesting to see where the Pokes go from here. But under Coach Vigen, the former offensive coordinator, again, only in the top half of the Mountain West in passing in 2 out of his 7 years. So, I mean, it's run. It is a legitimate question to ask. Can that be really high-level success that way, because that's just not the way things are going, especially in college football. And then it's gone into the NFL as well. Coming right back on the Nate Brown Show, who's hot and who's not. I'm going to tell you why you should love Notre Dame football. Oh, you guys, I hate Notre Dame football. Everybody, hang on. You should love the Notre Dame football program, what they just announced. That's next.
You're listening to The Nate Brown Show, streaming live at FoxSportsRapidCity.com and right here on 106.7 FM and 1150 AM Fox Sports Rapid City.
Attention, Black Hills. Buckle your seatbelt because Gateway Autoplex is having the largest sale in history.
Bring your tax money down and we'll double your down.
You have 1,000, we're going to match 1,000. You got 2,000, we'll match up to 2,000.
This sale's going to be so big, we're going to give away a car to one lucky winner. Stop in today to register, no obligation to buy.
Check us out today at GatewayAutoplex.com.
Get pre-approved in minutes at GatewayApproved.com.
Located at 410 North Campbell Street or 123 Omaha. I'm Scott Hanna.
And I'm Adam Ray.
And nobody
beats a Gateway deal.
Here's your Fox Sports Rapid City forecast. A wind chill advisory continues until 11 a.m. Monday. Snow likely tonight, otherwise cloudy. Lows level off around 4 below. Winds out of the east around 5 miles per hour. Overcast tomorrow, snow likely 3 above. 13 below tomorrow night, chance of snow. 2 to 4 inches of snow tonight through Saturday. That's your forecast on the Black Hills Sports Station, Fox Sports Rapid City. Right now, 0.
Rush Hockey is back in Rapid City. On Wednesday, February 10th and Friday, February 12th, the Rush take on the Tulsa Oilers at 7:05, sponsored by Fleet Farm. On Saturday, February 13th, the Rush hosts Decades Night, sponsored by Bass Broadhead. Decades from the 1960s through present day will be represented through fun games, great music, and other interactive activities throughout the night. We encourage all fans to dress in their favorite Decades attire. The rink will be divided into sections based on decade, and everyone will be eligible to win special prizes throughout the night. Tickets are on sale at RapidCityRush.com.
Broadcasting from the Anytime Auto Sales, Service, and Detail Studio. Sales, service, and side-by-sides. This is Fox Sports Rapid City.
Let's wrap it up on a Wednesday on Fox Sports Rapid City, the Nate Brown Show. Remember, you can catch the podcast tonight, tomorrow. Every show uploaded there, FoxSportsRapidCity.com. FoxSportsRapidCity.com, the Nate Brown Show archives. Catch the podcast if you miss parts of the show. We don't repeat a lot of stuff, not a lot of recorded segments or anything like that. New stuff, new content each breakout. No, we know you can't listen all 2 hours. So go to FoxSportsRapidCity.com, catch the Nate Brown Show podcast. You can download it there as well. Apple Podcasts and iHeart app as well, wherever you get your podcasts, The Nate Brown Show. And the archive's also on YouTube. Watch the show. Watch the show on YouTube. Search Nate Brown Show. Who's hot and who's not, brought to you by the Pizza Ranch with brand new wings. Just in time, man. February, they're going to heat things up. Buffalo, barbecue, teriyaki. It's all good stuff. I've had it a lot. Let me just tell you. PizzaRanch.com to order it tonight, tomorrow. PizzaRanch.com, delivery or carry out. The new wings ready to go, fresh and ready for you at PizzaRanch.com. In my Who's Hot category, it's my one argument tonight. Whether you hate Notre Dame, whether you love Notre Dame, you got to respect Notre Dame. They announced today they're going to play Ohio State and Clemson in the same year. You think Alabama's going to do anything like that? You think Georgia's going to do anything like that? Notre Dame announced the schedule 2022 and 2023. So we're talking just a couple of years away. Notre Dame's playing Ohio State and Clemson in the same year. You don't see it. Everybody takes Cupcake City, and they don't do that. The Irish stepping up. Respect the Irish playing Clemson and Ohio State in the same year. Good luck to the Irish, by the way. Anyway, in my Pizza Ranch Who's Not category, it's got to be this projection in baseball. It just came out. The projections, they break down all the teams, everything, okay? These are the projections for Major League Baseball's NL West. The Los Angeles Dodgers projected to win 103 games. 103 games. In my Pizza Ranch Who's Not category, the Colorado Rockies getting rid of Nolan Arenado. The Rockies picked to finish last and projected to win 60 games and lose 102. The Rockies are going to lose as many games as the Dodgers win. That doesn't quite work out. We'll see you tomorrow at 4, The Nate Brown Show. Catch the podcast wherever you get it and also at foxsportsrapidcity.com. The Odd Couple takes over now.